Welcome to the podcast No Name, hosted by Scroll. Another episode, still no name. Maybe we'll just call it the Scroll No Name Podcast or the Scroll Podcast. But my name's Shane.
I'm Dan.
And here we go.
All right, Shane. So last time we chatted about my journey with entrepreneurship, my journey with the business. So today I'd like to talk, I guess, about your journey. We've had very similar journeys, I think, in the past couple of years, but what initially got you into entrepreneurship? Have you always been interested in starting a business? Talk to me about it.
First of all, I think it's funny that we're sharing this story with each other because we've relayed this story so many times to people.
Yes,
true. You've given your story, I've given mine, or we've given a blended version.
Yeah.
Probably 30 times, 40 times.
At least. I'd say at least that much.
But never in a setting like this where, we could show it to a lot of people. So
yeah, totally.
Okay, where did my journey start with entrepreneurship? Honestly, I think my journey started when I was playing music in high school. I wasn't playing video games like all my friends. I was learning guitar and writing songs, which was kind of weird. And I just ended up starting to play. I was busking on the streets. I had a PA system and I would go busk at the Gateway in downtown Salt Lake. And I started to get money in my guitar case. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever because all my friends were working at Lagoon, an amusement park, doing sprinklers. And I worked for 3 hours, 2 days a week on the weekends.
Doing what you loved.
Yeah, and I made more money than them, or the same amount. I don't know what I made. I made a couple $100 a night or something.
Yeah.
So it was just the most surreal experience. That was probably my first experience making money in entrepreneurship. But I grew up with a dad that was an entrepreneur, so I always watched him go and create the life that he wanted. So that was kind of my vision growing up of what I saw.
Yeah, and I think music has, greatly helped you, I would say. And I guess in my opinion, I think music in general, I know has helped me. I come from a really musical family. How do you feel like music's helped your entrepreneurship? What do you feel like is the kind of lesson learned between maybe learning an instrument and running a business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it all comes back to bravery and courage. From a young age, we would have concerts at my house.
Okay.
Just with my cousins and myself. So being able to play in front of other people and come up with something of my own that I could show to them was always super exciting. I think that relates to entrepreneurship because one, you have to create something, and then two, you got to go and share it with the world.
Totally.
Most people don't get that far because they fear this. They fear approaching the world with one of their ideas,
or judgment that they may or may not get.
Yeah, judgment.
Yeah,
that's the word I was looking for. And exactly where growing up, I was always encouraged to create and then share. And I think that's really the main tie for me is I created something and then shared it and always received praises. Even if it sucked.
Yeah. Which it doesn't suck, by the way. Shane is actually a very talented guitar player, has an amazing voice. So.
And I'll show you never. But I just always got a lot of encouragement.
Yeah.
So I think that's how writing music related.
Yeah, totally. And related, I guess, to running business entrepreneurship. I think there is actually a lot of science behind learning an instrument and it completely rewiring your brain. And also utilizing, I think, other parts of your brain that you would have never utilized otherwise and unlocking kind of the potential from everything that I've read and heard about it. I'm sure maybe we'll link some stuff or something, but I know there's studies that show that learning an instrument and also not just learning one, but playing it over your lifetime is exponential to helping you learn in every other area of life, which is really cool.
Oh yeah. That's super interesting. I mean, I grew up left-handed, and
Yeah.
everyone told me because I was left-handed, I'd be more creative.
Yeah, because the left side of your brain or
Yeah,
whatever.
which I think is probably a complete hoax. But I believed it.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, I'm going to be really creative.
Yeah.
I'm the worst artist you'll ever meet in your life. Like, I don't understand a lot of creativity, but that was one thing I could always get behind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it helped me like open up my mind to more opportunities or possibilities compared to not. Probably similar to code, right?
Yeah,
like
similar
kids
to
learning code.
Yeah, I think everybody's got their own unique talents. I think everybody has creativity built in them. I think it just is exercising it. And I think, yeah, you may not be like the best artist or whatever.
No, I'm a terrible artist.
Yeah, you don't like drawing, but your creativity manifests itself in much different ways with I think your wittiness and your ability to like read people, talk to people, create your music, like in so many other ways that other people don't have that same kind of creative skill. So I think it's really cool. And so your initial business in high school, a little bit after high school, music, busking, getting some money from doing something you loved. I think that's how a lot of entrepreneurs start. What drove you down the path to where you are today? Like, what was the turning point from like saying, I'm going to do digital marketing? Like what made that turn for you?
Well, I went on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. When I came home, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I remember on my mission always talking about ideas with my companions or friends on the mission. And it made me really excited to come home and try something because I just didn't want to have a normal job and live a normal life. So I remember getting home and just thinking like, I got to try something. I got to put together a business or be an entrepreneur. I didn't care what I was going to do. I just wanted to be an entrepreneur. I don't know why. Maybe it was my ego.
Yeah.
I just wanted to run my own business.
Yeah.
E-commerce was really cool at the time because Instagram had just come out.
Yeah.
There were big brands starting up. I was like, I want to be one of them.
You started a little Amazon thing, huh?
Yeah, I did. I started selling hammocks on Amazon. I started selling hammocks just to my friends and family that I bought from China.
Yeah, like everybody else, huh?
Yeah, and it was a good learning experience. I ended up selling that business for like $10,000 when I was 22, and I was like, I'm the richest person alive.
Yeah, I think you got that. That was probably your first taste. Mm-hmm. I would think that Amazon business and doing that with the hammocks weren't with Casey.
That was my next business.
That was in the dog leashes and stuff, right? So, how hard was it back then to start an Amazon like business?
So that business that I sold wasn't necessarily an Amazon business. That was more just like a hammock product company.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going and getting like real job before I started my Amazon business.
Yeah.
As far as Amazon goes, it's starting an Amazon business in 2018 is when I started it, was not super hard. I mean, still, I don't think it's that hard to do.
Yeah.
I was looking for path of least resistance.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to start something that was like passive income.
Yeah.
Which doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think everybody wants
fun fact.
Everybody wants that passive income.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. It just, it's tough. Unless you want to invest in treasury bonds. That's probably the only thing that is passive income. And we're not financial advisors, so.
We're also going to do an episode on treasury bonds. So. But it wasn't that hard to do. Like, you literally set up an LLC, you create an FBA account, you order product off of Alibaba,
rebrand it, and start selling.
Start selling it. Try and get reviews. I think it's a little harder now than it was back in 2018 because competition. Yeah, competition was a little easier to get reviews back then, but it was still hard back then to find a product with less than like 50 reviews on it. So,
you started this business, but you also were working a full-time job, right?
Yes. I was going to school and didn't know what I wanted to do with my life after I sold my first business for $10,000.
Yeah.
And just was like, I'll go to school, figure it out. I sucked at school. I never felt like I was accomplishing anything. It gave me a ton of anxiety. And I ended up getting a job at KSL.com, which is like a local news station here. And I was selling advertising for them on their website.
Yeah.
And I ended up making decent money. Like I was making 75 grand and thinking, wow, I've made it. Like I didn't know I could make this kind of money without a college degree.
And you were married at the time.
I was married. Yep. Yeah. So I thought I'll just drop out of school and keep doing this and grow with this company.
Yeah.
Until I realized like I was keeping 7% of what I sold.
Yeah.
If I hit my quota.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd rather keep 100% of what I sell.
Yeah, no kidding.
And just grow my own business.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of started an Amazon store and with my friend Casey and started growing that. And that one did better than my first business for sure.
And then so started at KSL. You had a book of business. You were starting to kind of, I think, probably get the vibes of like what digital marketing was about.
Right. Yeah.
And you also had, there was a lot of back and forth with people that you worked with your boss there, and trying to decide like what you wanted to do. I know you got some of your book taken away from you. And then talk to me about that, and talk to me about the transition from KSL to like going full-time entrepreneur.
Okay. I remember I had, so I worked at KSL for a year, and I ended up winning their like account executive of the year.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh man, I'm a big shot. I'm so good at sales, whatever. At the end of that year, they hired a new person onto my team and took part of my book of business that I had sold that year away and given it to him.
Yeah. Which directly probably affected your commission. Yeah.
So they're like, congratulations, you won account executive of the year. Here's a demotion.
Yeah, which is just absolutely demoralizing and is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, so I thought, well, what do I want to win next year?
Yeah.
Worse rep? Maybe they'll give me more book? I don't know. So I just felt the corporate culture. My boss could tell that I was feeling it, and he had scheduled this meeting where it was literally a circle of people. Yeah. And we went around and said, like, why are you here? And I think he wanted it to be motivational, but it was like the nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah.
Because people were going around saying to pay my bills, to create freedom in 20 years because I have to be. Yeah. And I was like, this is sad. Whoa.
Yeah. It just like opened your eyes probably to what everybody else was kind of perceiving. And probably what you were always thinking. You just maybe you needed to hear it out of somebody else's mouth.
Yeah. And they had all been there 10 years or 5 years. And I thought, well, where is this going then? Like, sure, I might make more money, but like, am I just going to create more expenses in my life to like compensate for that and try and make me feel happy?
Yeah, for sure.
So that was the point where I decided I was going to quit. But I had that Amazon business going at that time, and I was making like $600 a month off of it.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it because that business did around $70,000 a year.
Casey.
Yeah. Profit, it was probably doing like $25,000 a year, but
for as little work as you guys were putting in, I remember because you were still running it when we had started. Yeah, but you sold it like a couple months into when we had started, and I think you guys were only putting in a couple hours a week into it, which is pretty cool.
Right? Yeah, we were not putting in a lot of time at all. Like I started that business while I had a full-time job. When I quit my full-time job, I put more work into it. It grew a little bit, and then I sold it to really grow this. And that was what gave me the opportunity to grow this, because I was getting
financed it.
Yeah, I financed it to the guy that bought it, and he was giving me like $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
For 18 months. So I thought that covers rent. I'm good. Like I've got 18 months to try and grow a new business.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the approach.
And so during that time, I know we met. In the last episode, we talked about like, my perspective on how we met and how kind of all that went down. Share, I guess, your version of the story of how we met and what you thought about what was going to happen.
So I met you. You were saving a dog from a fire, and there was a grandma crossing the street that you wanted to make sure you helped. And I think you had you were buying groceries for the homeless at the time.
That actually more or less sounds like my parents. That sounds like my parents. That doesn't sound like me, but it sounds like my mom and dad.
Dan would do that. But I met you at LDSBC when we were going to school.
Yeah.
And you knew my brother, so we connected and we just ate lunch at the BC Cafe.
Yeah. Corn dogs, by the way. Corn dogs at the BC Cafe. Corn dogs and fries, the hamburger, solid choice. Shout out BC Cafe.
It was like a worse version of any place on the planet. But it was super cheap. It was good. Yeah, BC Cafe. I wonder if that's still there.
I bet it still is. Maybe they renamed it, but I would think it is.
We should go back to reminisce.
We should. We should go film the next podcast there.
In the BC Cafe.
All right.
Sponsored by. No, so we were eating lunch at the BC Cafe. You were doing photography.
Yeah.
I think at the time I was doing my hammock business, and we just were talking about being entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We were both kind of wannabes.
Yeah.
You know, we were thinking we were big shots growing into our businesses. But
did I ever end up? Did I take pictures for you at some point? Maybe I.
You did.
I did. Maybe I took some pictures for you. I know Taylor did too. I think took some pictures for you.
Taylor didn't. No, you did though.
I did.
Okay. I had started another small little agency while I was going to school at LDSBC. I think I was charging people $300 a month to run their social media accounts.
Yeah.
And I ended up hiring you, I think, to take some photos for one of the brands.
Yeah.
It was that tree clothing brand.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah, it was the tree clothing brand because I had
my sister's modeled and Jace Harris modeled.
It was Jace Harris.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Throwback.
Yeah. Jace Harris, he's a good model. Still to this day. He's dad now, but man, he's a good looking fella. So I was running that business. I mean, I was running a little business. You were running a little business and then we kind of went our separate ways for a while.
Yeah.
And then I had quit KSL to start what is now Scroll.
Yeah.
At the time I had called it Oh Brother Digital.
Yeah.
No idea why. And I had 2 clients that I was managing that I had either brought over from KSL or that I had just found through my network.
Yeah.
And I found an office space in Bountiful and I posted it on Facebook. It was does anyone want to split costs on this? It was $325 a month and that was steep. I couldn't afford that.
But it was pretty cool space.
Yeah,
it actually was really cool.
It was really nice. We should link a photo of it.
Yeah, we should.
So we'll show a photo.
And we'll show a photo of the desk. We mentioned this last time, but we're still using this desk to this day. The first desk that you and I worked on.
Yeah. Dan and I shared a desk. So, we moved into that office and backtrack. We went to lunch.
Yes.
At Zao for 4 to 5 hours. We talked about religion. We talked about work. We talked about family. And just kind of felt each other out to see if this would be a good partnership. Because at the time we thought he would do photography out of the business. Yeah. And then I would just do.
You do your thing. I thought we were just going to share the office space and pay rent.
You said, I have a few clients in social media. I sucked at social media. I had a few clients in web and SEO, and you didn't know what that was at the time. So we were like, all right, let's get together and do this. So we just created a new brand. We called it You Into Local because you were running You Into Social.
Yeah, beforehand. So I had some of the handles and I think I may have had the domain.
Something like that. And
then we just got started.
Yeah. And all of our clients canceled pretty much immediately.
Yes, pretty much within the first 3 months.
Yeah.
They were all new clients. By that point I think we had turned everything over.
Yeah. And then we just kind of hit the ground running. We used our networks to go to get our first 5,000 a month. And then we did a little bit of cold calling and Google ads and calling through magazines to get to 10 grand a month.
Hometown values.
Yeah.
Valpak. I think we even went through the Valpak.
We did. We did go through Valpak.
We went through a couple places just to find clients.
Yeah, and the pitch was like, hey, digital marketing in this magazine is probably a terrible idea.
Yeah, because it's really hard to track.
Yeah, so you should use us.
That was our initial pitch. I'm like almost for certain.
And people would say, what do you do? And we're like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
And we just found a way to like get stuff done.
Yeah.
Which isn't the best way to grow a business.
But you know what? I think yes and no. I think it's a good way to figure out what the market needs, what the market wants. Because we were trying to figure out what people needed, and then we settled into services.
Totally. I think the thing that really helped us grow was when we were like, we're gonna turn our services into products.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we offer this product, and that product. Which one do you want? They're all solutions for this particular problem. And that was when things really started to grow. As well as we hired Preston, my brother-in-law, who was in school and just willing to do anything for us. It was so helpful.
And is still with us to this day and is just the best.
Yeah, it kicks butt.
Totally embodies what I think we wanted out of this.
Yeah.
So I guess we've grown now. We started very small. What was your expectation, I guess, when we got together? Compare that, I guess, to where we are today. Did you feel like we could maybe get to this point? I don't know what your thoughts are there.
See, I think about this all the time. And I'm like, my expectations were always big. Like, I wanted to run a business. I wanted to do something exceptional with my life. Like, I've always felt pulled to do something more than like work a normal job.
Yeah.
But weirdly, my expectations at the same time were like, I
don't know.
Maybe I didn't believe in myself that much. Maybe I was like, this will last for a few years and get me through like my mid-20s, having a good time. I don't know what I expected.
Yeah.
All I know is in every like present day that we had, I took it serious and tried to do everything I could to grow it to the next level. And I think that that's like the mindset you have to have is obviously prepping for the future, especially in business, is like really important.
Yeah.
But prep for the future. I mean, we weren't setting annual plans back then.
No.
Or even quarterly plans.
We were taking it day by day.
Yeah.
That's really what it was.
It was like
we were grinding and we were wanting it. We wanted it to happen.
And we talked about this on your episode, but like showing up.
It's half the battle.
Yeah, just committing and saying like, I'm going to be here tomorrow, Dan. Are you going to be here tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, see you tomorrow. And we did that every day. We didn't have a 9-to-5 schedule. We didn't put together any documents.
No, nothing. We didn't. We just showed up every day. And it literally it reminds me, I think, of I don't know, man, just our execution has always been consistent.
Yeah, that's the message from both of our episodes, I think, to if you're out here and you want to start a business and that's why you're listening to this.
100%.
I think that's what you and I, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the consistency and just taking it one day at a time. Just everything, not giving up. But so many people give up right before they get to the point of success.
Yep.
And you gave an analogy yesterday. You're going to have to go listen to Dan's podcast for that one. My analogy would be like swimming across a lake, getting halfway and then turning around.
For sure.
You put in the same amount of work as you would swimming across the whole lake. Yeah. I just think that consistency has paid off in every facet, and that when starting a business, you have to be willing to commit to not ever giving up, because you will beat out 99% of every other entrepreneur
if you just don't give up,
because they'll all give up eventually.
Yeah.
So just keep going and you will beat them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how it works.
Yeah. And I love that. And I think it rings true, not only in the agency world, that I think requires a massive amount of consistency, but in anything else that you do, in life, you just gotta keep going, gotta keep doing it.
Yeah. You don't really have the option in life either, right?
Yeah, to stop, first of all.
You just keep going. And when things get hard, you keep going again.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you realize, okay, every time something gets hard, I have to keep going. And when I keep going, things eventually get better.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
It's never the end of the world.
And both you and I have gone through, I'd say, we have our own personal trials. We've had our own personal trials. We've had our own family struggles, spiritual struggles, whatever you want to call it. And at least the thing that I've learned through all of like my own medical stuff, my own experiences that I've gone through is, like literally just don't stop. You can stop to rest, stop to sleep, stop to take care of yourself, but don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah. I think that the phrase would be like, the sun will always rise, right?
Yeah.
So like, go ahead and rest. Go ahead and take a break. But the sun will rise again the next day, no matter what you decide to do.
Yep.
So like, if you just keep your patterns with the sun, then like every day you're going to wake up
for sure
and
go get it,
decide to go again. And that's been said over and over and over again in every like podcast or whatever. Everyone's used that motivational phrase of like, let's just keep going.
But it's true.
It's the simplest way to explain how to be successful in business. Like, if you commit and don't stop, take user feedback, make adjustments when needed, continue to commit and not stop, you will succeed.
Yeah.
There's a 0% chance you fail. There's no way to fail at that point.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I think, we both have the exact same sentiment. Where, I guess, so you've learned all this stuff through your entrepreneurship journey, through Scroll, through us working together, through you doing your own stuff. And where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you want, I guess, maybe Scroll to be? Where do you see yourself in maybe even 10 years?
Dan, great question. Here are some papers for a buyout. I'm just kidding. This is a good time to bring it up. I figured I'd surprise you. No, I think for the next 10 years, it changes every day for me because I think I am a chronic entrepreneur where I get excited and I have business ADD. So I just get excited about every opportunity or new idea. So there's something special about Scroll because for some reason I've made this commitment in my life and I've stuck to it.
Yeah.
And we've created this really cool, unique community of staff.
Yeah.
And I love it here. I love coming to work every day. And I think our staff loves it too.
Yeah.
I think we have an insane amount of opportunity to grow our business.
For sure.
We're currently like a $1.2 million business, right?
Yeah.
And Dan mentioned his goals for this year to double our revenue. Yeah. So take us to over 2.5 is what it would put us at. I think very like, okay, let me dive into the numbers and see where this is going to take us. But realistically, with our new offerings, 100% we can get there.
Yeah.
So my vision for this year is, hey, I would love to see us over $2 million. 100%. That is a massive goal. And I think with hard work, continuing to produce content and generating a ton of new leads and new offerings, we're going to do it.
Yeah. Where you see yourself?
Yeah. At the end of this year, hopefully I'm a dad.
Yeah. Hopefully you're a dad. You're going to be going to Prague in like less than 5 days.
Yes. I'm going to go to Prague. Me and my wife we struggle with infertility. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'm a dad or on my way to be a dad.
Yeah. I'm so excited for you guys.
Because I think family is something I haven't had to prioritize in my mid-20s and now into like my 30s, right? So I really want my 30s to be the time where I can prioritize family and work. So I don't know what that's going to look like because I don't know what the conclusion is yet on our fertility. So we'll find out. As far as 10 years, I definitely want to have a family no matter how that happens. And then I also see Scroll being a just massive
springboard.
Yeah, just something that springboards us into more opportunity, as well as being something to reckon with in the state of Utah.
Yeah, 100%.
I want Scroll to be like a household name in Utah. People think of Scroll and know that it's a business that has a really cool unique lifestyle for its employees, but also has this incredible product that's hard to compete with. Yeah. So I hate setting revenue goals 10 years out because I am a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, let me look at the graphs first. But I could see it. I want this to be an 8-figure business. I see that being a 5 to 10 year goal.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm right there with you, man. I'm really excited. And I'm also excited for your personal journey this year. I know my life drastically changed when we had kids. And we've got another one on the way. And my life's going to change again for another crazy ride this year. But it's like just the best thing ever. And I just am wishing you guys the absolute best, and I hope it works out.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited. And you never know, because with IVF, your likelihood of twins goes way up.
Yeah, so maybe Kenzie gets twins, maybe she gets triplets. You know?
Oh, please, no, not
Could
triplets.
You imagine?
No.
You're going to come back and you're like, Dan, I got something to tell you, and I'm going to literally like just break down.
Dan's over here.
We're having triplets.
Dan has 2 kids. I'm sitting over here, can't have a kid. All of a sudden I come back and
I have 3.
I have 3. I really hope that doesn't happen because that can be dangerous for my wife.
Yeah.
But I could, either
awesome.
1 kid or twins, like, man, would be really cool experience. And I feel like I'm ready for that. So hopefully that's what the future holds.
And either way, you get a good, amazing time away with your wife in Europe, which most people don't ever get that chance, let alone for the long time that you will be there. You're going to be, it's like 20 days?
Like 30.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I'll be working half days. But yeah, I'm very blessed and lucky that I get to be able to do that. Also, I think a little bit of education goes a long way for people.
Totally.
If they can do research around, and if you struggle with infertility and you watch this podcast, you should definitely reach out because
check it out.
A little bit of education goes a long way. I had no idea. I was expecting to be paying about $20,000 every time we tried to do IVF
here.
And then Dan was the one who was like, Shane, have you heard of IVF in Prague? I think you saw TikTok.
I think I saw a TikTok or I saw Instagram reel or something. Somebody from Utah, it was a Utah couple that had posted about their story in Prague. And I saw it and I literally like told you the next day. I was like, dude, did you see this? And I think I even messaged it to you.
Yeah.
And then
I went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I spent days looking. So
so I'm hoping it pays off.
Yeah, me too. But on the personal side of family, on the business side, I'd love to see Scroll be an 8-figure business. I think you and I are at a point where we built a business and now we're kind of running a job again.
Yeah.
Right?
We're to the point where we built ourselves a job. And I think hopefully we can build ourselves out of the job. In the next couple of years is the idea. That's
like 10-year plan for me. I'd love to build myself out of a day job so that I could do investments in real estate or other business, create other opportunities, as well as continuing to run Scroll strategically and creating new business opportunities for Scroll.
100%.
I don't know where the next 10 years takes me other than everything I just said.
Yeah, I love it. Well, that's cool. Well, and I think at least that's a great place to end, I think, for today. And we're excited, I think, for more episodes. Yeah. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about next.
I think that's awesome. So let us know if you want us to have anyone on, if you want to come on, if you know someone cool, or if you know someone really boring.
Yeah.
That might be a unique podcast episode.
Maybe somebody that runs a boring business that is really successful and nobody knows about it.
That's a good point.
We'd like to probably definitely have some of this one back and forth between me and Shane on some episodes. We'd love to do some interviews. We'd love to talk to other business owners. This is a lifestyle business owner podcast.
Yeah. So. As you can see, we have no idea where this is going, but hopefully it's somewhere good. And we hope you found value in it and that you want to hear more from us. If not, just let us know. Say, shut up.
Yeah. And hopefully give us some more topics. Like if there's things you want to hear about, like Shane and I's journey, about Scroll, about what we do, maybe about what we're going to do in the future, let us know, and we're here to talk. So
yeah, completely open books. Thank you for listening.
If you want to find Scroll, you can find us www.joinscroll.com, or you can find Shane or myself, TikTok, Instagram. Really just type in our names and you're going to find us. See ya.